if he called Numi over and IPN's like pointing at me and he's like, she wants a lap dance. I was like, wait a minute. And then Numi climbs on top of me. Numi messaged me kind of last minute. She was like, yo, you want to come to Vegas for my birthday with like a bunch of other people? And I was like, yes. I didn't even question it. I was just like, yes, fuck yeah. The big hurdle was traveling by myself because I've never traveled by myself. So I went back home and it was just my dad. And I was like, I'm gonna be flying to Vegas this day. And he's like, oh yeah, that's when your mom's gonna be in Vegas. And I'm like, huh? This is like way too convenient, right? The stars, the planets, the whole fucking Milky Way galaxy aligned. So I was able to get like the seat next to my mom on the way up and back. We were like super paranoid when we showed up to the gate because they had these sizing bins where it's like, oh, if your bag is bigger than this size, then it has to be carry-on. It can't be a personal item. My mom was like, uh-oh. They're checking our boarding tickets from the right side. Let's put our bags on our left side so they're not really looking at our bags. I'm like, Mom, you need to calm down. After we had our brunch, my mom and James walked me over to the Venetian. It was Tricky and Vienna who were there. I think Numi flew down with Tob and IPN and Bao. So they all got there at around the same time. And I was like, oh my God, I need to like say hi to you guys. And so I went downstairs. And then before I know it, I just see Numi sprinting towards me. And I met Tob for the first time. Tob is so fucking cool. We really bonded over that trip. I was like, I just met Tob and I would die for her. It was me and Tricky, Vienna and Aru all in the same room. Numi also got a separate room for IPN and Saikuno. But like Saikuno had a place nearby. He just like went back home. So IPN was all alone in his 2-bed hotel room. When we all first got to the penthouse, Bao had picked up cakes for Numi and Aru. Numi was sitting with like her back facing away from the door. And Bao came in and she was like, Numi, don't turn around. Don't look behind you. Just trust me. The mini fridge is right behind Numi. So Bao's like trying to fit these cakes in the little mini fridge, but they're just not fitting. And she was like fumbling with the fridge for like a good solid 5 minutes. So we get to the buffet, right? We went up to get our food in like groups. The girls pretty much like all went up at the same time and the guys went up.
A few moments later.
The guys are taking a long time to come back. I wonder why. Bao comes back and she's like, yeah, there's a line for Saikuno. Because like everybody wanted to take a picture of him. Like everybody was like recognizing him and stuff. And apparently IPN was just standing there with his plate and Saikuno's plate. I fucking can't with Numi. She told us that she had prepaid for both buffets. And then when we walk up into the line, the lady was like, oh, like this is your total. We were all like, wait a minute. You said you prepaid. And we were all just like death glaring at Numi because she just handed this lady her card so fast. But we were all under the impression that she had already paid after we had our dinner buffet. We went to the club. Saikuno ended up buying a table. And we were like, dude, that's so fucking expensive. What the hell? But he said he just wanted to sit down. But we didn't realize that drinks came with the table. So everybody was out on the dance floor. And I was kind of tired. And Tob was kind of tired too. And I remember we were sitting next to each other at our table. And we were just like talking and looking at each other. And we're so drunk. Pretty much like the whole trip when Numi was sitting on me, IPN would be like, I'm so jealous. Like Bao and Numi were giving each other lap dances, and while Numi was on Bao, I turned to IPN because he was sitting next to me and I'm like, I'm so jealous right now. And then I don't remember if he called Numi over and IPN's like pointing at me and he's like, she wants a lap dance. I was like, wait a minute. And then Numi climbs on top of me and she's like holding my face and I just remember like looking up at her like, is this real life? And then I see a fucking flash and it turns out Bao took a photo of us. You just see like Numi's back. And then on the other side of the booth is IPN doing the peephole blush, like finger touching. Then the next day, I ended up waking at like 7 a.m. So I was like, okay, I might as well just get up and get ready. And I think it was like 8 or 9 o'clock. And Numi was like, Sinder, come up here. And I was like, okay. And she answers the door. She's in like these cute little pajamas with like donuts on them. And I'm like, oh my God, Numi, you're so cute. She's like, what the fuck? Why are you dressed up? I was like, what do you mean? Like, this is a casual outfit. I was literally just wearing like pants and like a top. But the thing is that typically I have to wear V-neck shirts or else I look like a grandma. I show up and Numi is like, the first thing I see in the morning when I open my door is there's boobs. Throughout the whole weekend, actually, Bao and Numi, because they're a little shorter than me, they'd be like, Cinder, I'm so sorry, but it's just like so hard like to look at you because I'm going to be looking at your boobs. And Bao would just be like, awooga. Oh yeah, there's a limo ride. The driver's like, oh yeah, you can hook up to the Bluetooth. They started blasting CPR. The ride was so short, like we couldn't even get through the whole song. So Tricky like skipped ahead to the end of the song with the moaning. Sykkuno was like, can you please stop the song before we open the door and get out? Oh, there is another driver that picked us up for the second club. And then Numi gets in the front seat with him. She puts on her CPR song again. And Numi's like, that's me singing it. That's my voice. And the guy's like, really? That's pretty good. He's like jamming out to the music. While Numi's right there. Oh, we went to the spa. It was me, Vienna, Tricky, Bao, Aru, and IPN. IPN was all by himself again. So he was on like the guy's side of the spa. When we first got to the spa, the lady showing us around, like giving us instructions, she was like, yeah, dress down to your comfort level and then put your robes on. And I think like Vienna was like, oh, can we wear like a bathing suit? And the lady's like, no, we're all girls here. And I'm like, so what does dress down to your comfort level mean? Just naked? So I didn't want to get in trouble. So I took absolutely everything off and I put my robe on. I had no idea what getting a massage is like, but man, at the end, it was like neck and chin and like a little bit of the face. And then this guy starts like rubbing my ears and scratching my head. I've never been so close to making an embarrassing sound in my life. And every time he'd ask me, he's like, the pressure good? I'd be like, that feels so good. And I was done with my massage and I was like, oh, let me wait in the lounge for Aru. And I hear a familiar voice and I turn around and it's IPN. So I was like, yeah, I'm just waiting for Aru. And he's like, oh, cool. So we were just like hanging out in like the little lounge chairs, just chatting. We went to dinner that night and we were talking about the spa. I was like, we were naked, like joking about it, like, we got naked. And IPN looks at me and he's like, what do you mean you were naked? I was like, yeah, they told us to just take off everything. And he's like, they didn't say that to me. Like, you weren't wearing anything under that robe. And I was like, nope. After that dinner, we went to the second club of the weekend, right? And they had reserved a table. They let us in and we were all just like standing around at the bar because like our table wasn't ready yet. I hadn't had a chance to like buy anybody any drinks or like food because everybody's like always jumping at the bill. And Numi turns to me and she was like, do you not want a drink? I'm like, I know if you ask me that, you're gonna want to buy it. And Numi is like, okay, I'll let you buy this round of drinks. And I'm like, thank you. I was like, oh my God, I'm so excited. I finally get to pay. And then the owner of the bar, of like the club, comes up to our group. I guess supposedly there's like some drunk people sitting at our table and they had to like deal with them. And it took them a little bit. And he's like, I'm so sorry for the inconvenience. This round of drinks is on us. And I'm standing with my wallet open, ready to pay for these fucking drinks. And Numi looks over at me and she's fucking cracking up. And I'm like, no, this isn't funny.